Many days ago, a spider named Rodrigo appeared in our house. Over time, he grew, developed and defeated his rivals. In this video, we will take Rodrigo into the forest to find real wild opponents for him and see whether he can defeat them. Since the last video, Rodrigo has become even bigger and heavier. The more adult he gets, the more hair he grows on his body. During this time, he shed his exoskeleton for a third time. I will place all the old exoskeletons next to the new one so you can see how much Rodrigo has grown in size. I noticed these two beetles sitting on top of each other in my garden. At first, I didn't understand why one beetle was carrying the other. But then I realized that the smaller beetle might have been injured after a collision with another insect or a bird, and its friend was carrying the exhausted beetle to a safe place so it could recover. 5 minutes later, I found another candidate for a fight with our spider. Now I need to catch it carefully. Hey, where are you going? It took me another 3 minutes and 67 seconds to finally catch one of these beetles. Look how fast and aggressive it is. It's biting my hand with its sharp mandibles. This is a species of predatory beetles that feed on other insects. So this fight could be quite dangerous for Rodrigo the spider. The only reassuring thing is that this species belongs to the soft-bodied beetles, which means they don't have a hard shell, and their rear part is quite soft and therefore vulnerable to attack. It's time for the fight. The opponents are roughly the same size. The spider slowly approaches the beetle, choosing the best place to attack. The beetle turns its back to the spider and tries to escape towards the edge of the table to jump off it. Rodrigo follows its opponent and at the last second pounces on the beetle, pulling it back towards the center of the table. The spider holds the beetle very tightly from behind, preventing it from biting back. Then it spreads its legs to the sides to keep balance and avoid falling over. Somehow, the beetle manages to break free and fall onto its back. Rodrigo takes the opportunity to inject venom into the softest part of the beetle. However, the venom doesn't act as quickly as it usually does. Perhaps the beetle has some kind of immunity to such substances. The beetle is very angry and dangerous. Just look at that monstrous mouth. It resembles jaws of a predator from a famous movie. In rage, the beetle starts biting the wooden table. This was one of the longest fights, and after about 15 minutes, the beetle finally lost its strength. But when Rodrigo starts feeding on the beetle's nutrients, he suddenly drops it and stops eating. It turns out that this beetle contains toxic compounds that repel predators. Even birds frequently spit it out after picking it up in their beaks. This soft-bodied beetle has a strong chemical defense. However, it was enough to save him from the venom of Rodrigo the spider, who is still hungry. To solve this problem, Rodrigo and I went to the forest to find him another opponent. On the way there, I found this red and black beetle. Probably, most of you have seen beetles like this in nature. They often gather together into a large red cluster. Predatory birds mistake them for some kind of large red creature and do not attack them. These beetles release chemical signals to attract other red beetles, causing the red cluster to grow even larger as more individuals join it. Rodrigo notices a new opponent, comes out of his shelter, moves closer and attacks the beetle. Instead of running away or fighting back, the beetle somehow straightens his legs to appear taller. Rodrigo takes the advantage of this and finds the most vulnerable spot on the beetle's body to bite and inject a venom. During the fight, the red beetle releases a transparent liquid that spreads across the table. It appears to be the beetle's external chemical defense, which has a strong smell and an unpleasant taste. It seems Rodrigo got a bit of his foul-smelling substance on him. He didn't like it, so he dropped the beetle and didn't eat it. The beetle received a dose of venom, so its journey is most likely over. However, in nature, Rodrigo would remember this beetle and the fact that it's not tasty. This would allow other members of this species to survive and avoid becoming prey for a predator. In my backyard, I found a unique species of isopod that can roll itself into a perfect ball whenever it senses danger, covering its body with a strong armor. Later, when the danger is gone, it reverts to its normal form, almost like a transformer, and continues on its way. This transformation may not save it from the birds, but it can help protect it from predatory insects. And now, we're about to find out how it works. As soon as Rodrigo spots his opponent, he immediately goes on the attack. The isopod instantly tries to strike the spider with its body, but after Rodrigo attacks again, it turns the armored part of its body towards him. Rodrigo is smart. He immediately realizes that this opponent can't be defeated, and decides not to waste the little energy he has left. After all, this is already the third time he has failed to get himself a meal. I felt sorry for Rodrigo, so I caught him this soft and juicy green caterpillar for a quick snack. As soon as Rodrigo sees his prey, he follows it for a while, analyzing its body structure and looking for the best place to bite. Then he attacks. The caterpillar tries to strike back with its tail and immediately begins releasing some kind of liquid that spreads across the table. It moves its mandibles, but it can't lift its head to bite Rodrigo, as its spine is most likely damaged by the spider's fangs. A caterpillar is the perfect meal for Rodrigo the spider. He's very happy, because after several unsuccessful attempts, he finally managed to get something to eat. The caterpillar grows thinner and thinner in Rodrigo's grasp, and white veins inside its body begin to show through the skin. 20 minutes later, it turned into a small dry brown husk. Looks delicious. That's when the most interesting part happened. I spotted a huge spider in the grass and tried to catch it. At the time, I didn't know what species it was, and I thought it would be a good idea to put it in the arena against Rodrigo. The spider was twice the size of Rodrigo. It was covered in brown hair, and the back part of its body looked like a snake's head with large black eyes, apparently to scare off predators or confuse them. I counted 8 eyes on this spider. Its head wasn't as large as Rodrigo's, which meant its brain should be smaller. That also meant it should be less intelligent than Rodrigo. But the spider looked very aggressive and fearless. It kept trying to crawl straight at me. After looking it up online, I found out that this species is called a nursery web spider. They got this name because they take care of their young for a very long time. During the mating season, the males present the females with an insect wrapped in a silk as a gift. The females are aggressive and can easily eat the males, since they are much smaller. So, while the female is busy unwrapping the gift, the male tries to get acquainted with her as quickly as possible. When the spider lays her eggs, she wraps them in a protective silk sac and carries them with her at all times. After the spiderlings hatch, she builds a silk nursery where the young spiders can move around and develop under her protection. After the spiderlings hatch, she builds a silk nursery where the young spiders can move around and develop under her protection. When I placed an ordinary matchstick inside the spider's container, I realized how aggressive it was. The spider immediately pounced on it. Then I placed a smaller larvae into the container. Without a moment's hesitation, it grabbed the larva with its legs and began biting it. Take a look at its enormous venomous fangs. They're so powerful that the spider starts chewing its prey even before the venom has dissolved its inside. At that moment, I became worried about Rodrigo. I assumed there was a very high chance he wouldn't win this fight. Rodrigo noticed what was happening and came out of his shelter, moving closer to the giant spider. But instead of attacking the spider itself, Rodrigo turned his attention to the prey his opponent was holding in its legs. I instantly imagined Rodrigo attacking the larvae. At that very moment, the other spider would drop it from its mouth and strike back at Rodrigo with its enormous fang. In that situation, Rodrigo would have been in a clear disadvantage, and that spider could have easily killed him. And what would happen then? What would I tell you? Worried about what might happen, I decided to drive Rodrigo away with a stick. That decision might have saved his life. The large spider used its powerful fangs to squeeze the prey's body so hard and effective that after 20 minutes the larvae's body was reduced to a tiny crumbed ball of skin, with all of the soft tissue squeezed out and consumed by the spider. Over time, Rodrigo has become not only my friend, but also yours. And I don't think I can make it a decision to arrange a fight against such a powerful opponent on my own, because it could be Rodrigo's last video. Let me know what you think. Should I arrange this fight?